2 minutes late in getting started, and it gives us a chance to talk about what is the big news in baseball. Released late this afternoon, Major League Baseball announcing that Ryan Braun has accepted a suspension that will carry through the remainder of the season for his connection with Biogenesis and Tony Bosch. No word on the other players who were involved, including Alex Rodriguez. But the Braun thing is troubling only because he had been he had tested positive for testosterone 2 winters ago. He had gotten off on a technicality. He had proclaimed his innocence loudly, almost as loudly as we remember Rafael Palmeiro doing before Congress. And now today says, I realize now that I've made some mistakes. It strikes one as completely disingenuous, and it's really, his behavior, frankly, has been disgusting.
Well, it is in the game. It's all there is to it, and it was a lot worse a long time ago. And it's you know, it's a sad day. You know how I feel about steroids. I think that anybody that is been proven to take steroids is automatic, no chance for Hall of Fame. They don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I feel very strongly about that. Also, you know, I think the suspensions are tough, Gary. This was a little bit different. They couldn't go by the rule where it was what the three strikes you're out, because there was other it was evidence not where they actually caught him. He's been part of an investigation. So, you know, he's out the rest of the season. Milwaukee is pretty much out of it. So as a team, Milwaukee doesn't suffer. But the #1 guilty guy here is going to lose a lot of money, and he's going to have to sit out for the rest of the year, and we'll see how it goes going forward.
You know, I don't know what's worse, that he cheated, that he lied, or that disgrace of a statement that he issued. You know what? A real jerk in the way he handled this whole thing, and good riddance. I'm glad he's gone. And his, you know, what I feel bad about is those Milwaukee fans, right, because they had a decision to make. Do we go all in on Ryan Braun, or do we go all in on Prince Fielder? They decided to let Fielder become a free agent. He signs with the Tigers. They picked the wrong guy. There's this guy in Middle America, in Milwaukee. Those fans are going $3 million per year in droves to that ballpark, and now he's disgraced them.
And what about when you go back to the suspension that was overturned on a technicality because it had been quote-unquote mishandled, and the way that the character of the handler, the person who was responsible for taking the samples, was impugned by Braun and his team. That gentleman, who really was defamed in many ways, now comes off looking like the good guy here, and you wonder what happens with him.
The good guy is probably right now 1-800 law firm, because he really has an argument against Ryan Braun.
Well, there are other shoes that are clearly going to drop in the Biogenesis. You know, there are a lot of people a lot more attuned to this story than we are, who've been following it very closely. And, you know, Alex Rodriguez is clearly in baseball's crosshairs right now. And, you know, the difference here is that Braun accepted the punishment. I think he felt, I hate to read into it, but he's on a contract which pays him less this year than it will next year, so he gets less of a penalty than he would have otherwise. His team's out of the race. He's got a bad thumb anyway. It seemed probably like a good time for him to accept the penalty rather than letting it drag on to next year.
And I don't want to speculate, but it lets me makes me feel as though Major League Baseball had plenty of stuff on him also for him to accept it.
And I really feel one thing: let the story come out in its entirety. Don't hold anything back. Let the public know. Expose it for what it is, and air the dirty laundry. That's the best way. Be honest with your public, your fans.
I thought I heard something that was so spot on today, and maybe it was you who said it, Ronnie, that maybe the best penalty that you could level up to a high-profile player is that if you were caught with performance-enhancing drugs, if the evidence is overwhelming, if you're guilty, your contract should be voided, and that should be the first thing that happens rather than being suspended for a period of time.